Hi, it's Paul Sakis, Good News Broadcast. We're going to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with the U.S. Army, Unidos, Inclusivity for a Stronger Nation. We're honored to have Battalion Command Sergeant Major Anthony Taylor. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Sergeant. How you doing?
Okay, good. It's a nice day.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Thank you for having me on today. It's a real honor to be here to speak on Hispanic Heritage Month, talking about our Hispanic American soldiers serving in today's Army and Army Reserve.
Actually, I have to think immediately about Florida. I know Florida is one of those states that has a large Hispanic community, and how are we doing there? And they bring in the reserves. Here's a perfect example, right? Of the good kind of work that the Hispanic community does.
Yeah, I would say so. It's really, we know that these hurricanes happen, but every time we hear about them, it's really sad. I have a lot of friends and family down there in different parts of Florida. I'm seeing it on the social media, all their posts, how they're doing. I actually have one soldier that lives down there, so I was talking to him briefly last night, just checking in on him, and it seemed like he was going through the worst of it at that time. But, he was in high spirits, and he just told me, he's like, this is one of the prices you pay for living in Florida. But he was pretty positive about it, despite of, all the flooding and things of that nature taking place across that state. But, our thoughts and prayers are with them and as they go through this. And hopefully it's starting to ease up a little bit now as it's still going through there. But, we're definitely thinking about all of them out down there. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, well, I see here something 17% of the Army Reserve, our American soldiers, are Hispanic, are Latino descent. So that's quite a large population. Tell us a little bit about Hispanic Heritage Month with the U.S. Reserve.
Yeah, sure. And I'm glad you brought that up. And it's actually with that number, it's about 139,000 Hispanic Americans serving in the Army today. Mm-hmm. It's and something I like to talk about is the Medal of Honor. That award. Most of us are familiar with that. The award has been around for about 150 years since the Civil War. In that time, in the millions and millions of Americans that have served in our military and in our Army, only 3,500 soldiers have received that. In that number, 46 Hispanic Americans have received it. So this award, it's the most prestigious award we have. And if you read about the citations these Americans have done to receive that, nobody wants to receive it, but when they do, it's just extraordinary the things they've done. And like I said, that was 46 of our Hispanic American soldiers that have received that award. So that's pretty amazing there.
Do we know what some of those soldiers did to receive it?
It's a variety of things of what they've done. One, I remember as a young kid, I remember reading about Master Sergeant Roy Benavides. He was in the Special Forces group, Hispanic soldiers serving there, and it's just for his. I can't quote his citation off the top of my head, but in reading about it, he was extracting troops that was for his team that was injured in a battle in Vietnam, and he was getting shot up as he was. The helicopters couldn't land, so he kept running in there and getting his wounded troops out of there and getting them on those helicopters to get them out of there. And as he was doing that, he was getting shot up, and I can't remember how many times he was shot in the leg, in the face, in the head. He just kept going, and he survived that, but the man was just, his goal was to, save his buddy. So it's just the fierceness of those soldiers, yeah.
How does it, because most Hispanic and Latino are either bilingual or are, predominantly speak Spanish. How does that work in the Army? Do we have bilingual, recruiters within the Army? What's the situation there?
Yes, we do, and it's it's variety. It's in the Army. In the Army Reserve, there's all walks of life. Some soldiers, just like we see in everyday society, our Army and Army Reserve reflect our society. So there's a lot of Hispanic soldiers. Some speak a little bit Spanish. Some speak a lot, very fluent. I speak Spanish. I wouldn't say I'm fluent. I often tell people maybe mine is at like an 8th grade level. So when I was speaking with my grandparents or something, sometimes I'd have to have them slow down a little bit. So, but yeah, but I'll tell you, my mother, she immigrated here from about 40, 50 years ago from Peru. So I'm Peruvian American. So she came here. She served in the Army for 4 years. And then here, when I turned 18, it was not my intention, but they asked me to serve, and I thought about it, went back and forth, and decided to serve. And here I am, 28 years later, serving, and it's just it's just pretty remarkable. I never would have expected to do something like that, but it's and then so it's I have a lot of Hispanic friends in the military, juniors, leaders, peers. And I would say it's all different types. Some are very fluent, and some are okay at it. Some don't speak Spanish. So I would say you'd see a variety.
The only one thing, or a couple of things I know about Peru, is there any llamas in the U.S. Army?
Not that I know, but we actually have a llama, a stuffed llama. It's that we purchased in Peru one time. We had to have it mailed to us, so it's like a life-size llama in our house. It's kind of funny, but yeah, we have one, but it's a fake one.
I was given a llama for my Peruvian controller of my company. Not a real one. So tell us about 28 years now. That's really quite, and I honor you and I thank you for that. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Sure. So I'll tell you, like I was saying, I turned 18 and I was looking to go to college. I had no interest in the Army. My parents served. My brother, he served in the Marine Corps. My sister did JROTC, but I was like, and as a young kid in the 80s, I played with G.I. Joes and all that good stuff. But, I loved the Army, but it was like I wasn't interested in it. I just wanted to go and see what I can do with my life finishing high school. But the recruiter continued to come to the house, ask me to him. I didn't give him a definite no. I would say, well, I'll think about it. So after some thought, he talked to me about the Army Reserve, and I found that, they helped me with college. I did that. My intention was to do a 1-year contract. So my 6 years ended. I joined in '94. So when it ended, 9/11 happened. So then I was like, it's a totally different mind frame of thought. And I thought, now I felt I had to be in, and it was it's something I had to do. And so it kind of changed for me after that. And then I went on to serve. I deployed overseas, and just continued to grow, and now I've reached the rank of Sergeant Major, which is something, again, I've never intended to do. This is the top of the rank structure for the enlisted side, so you can't go any higher than that. So it was pretty, still sometimes it's just like I can't believe that happened. I'm only been a Sergeant Major for 2 years now, so I'm still kind of a baby Sergeant Major. I'm still new and growing in the position, but it has been something, I got to tell you.
Well, you are a respected man. There's people don't go up the ranks unless they're highly respected, and number two, that they're liked personally. And you have a great a sense of humor, a great, good, warm feeling about you. Isn't that important in life? What would you say? I mean, being nice to people, I think gets someone to go pretty far in life.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. To take you much further in life, it's just, and you know what? I feel like it may help you to live longer than I have that aggravation and stress. And we all get stressed and aggravated and things, but it's just, for me, I'm like, just let it go. I'm a man of faith, so, I put a lot of my trust in God. So I just, that's kind of how I try to live my life, and just as peaceful as you can. The world is hard enough, so I'm not trying to add any more aggravation or stress than I have to towards it.
There you go. Well, I'm a reverend. But also, I did a brain series and signed with PBS many years ago, the original major series. And the fact of the matter is, if you're stressed, you take adrenaline. You take it from the brain and you put it right into your heart. It makes no sense. You're going to make yourself ill, and you're going to clog up your arteries. So, but when you smile, your white and red blood cells get happy. So
there you go.
Be
there
happy.
You go, Jack. Yep.
Another thing about, I think a lot of times, history has had its place here in America, but the middle of this country in the West, it's very Latino and very Hispanic. Mexico owned a good portion of America, history-wise. So a lot of times people don't realize that, but this is quite a Hispanic Latino country.
I would agree. Yes, sir. I think the Hispanic Americans are one of the largest minority populations in our country. So that's
doing a lot of good. by far. Any other things you'd like to share with us about the the community with the Army Reserve, the Hispanic community?
No, I'm just really impressed in what I see. As a sergeant major, I have to often go out to the training sites and visit our young soldiers, and in meeting them, especially our Hispanic American soldiers. I remember this one group from Puerto Rico, and they just were out there, and they're just, and you see, what I've seen in the Puerto Rican units that I've met is they primarily speak Spanish, and they're, in Puerto Rico, the public relations teams there, they'll have their Army news articles in or magazines in Spanish, so you see that, and just their but that commitment and that work ethic and wanting to achieve more, do better, and show their capabilities, what they can actually do. They're so proud of it, and I have a son who's 4 years old, so I'm excited to see as he grows up, if he wants to venture down this road, like I said, it's up to him, of course, but be proud to see that, to continue that in our family lineage.
There you go. Well, congratulations to you, to your family. Congratulations to all those Hispanic, wonderful people serving our country in the U.S. Army Reserve. And thank God we have the U.S. Army Reserve. The first thing a governor says when they have some concerns, we're going to call out the Army Reserve. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, and if anybody's looking for more information, they can always find us on usar.army.mil. Thanks again, Paul.
Okay. You take care.